We are your hosts, LBFE's Executive Director, Nikki Shults.
And actor, singer, man about town, Gene Dante.
Thank you. Hey, look, it's really great to be together again in person. I'm cheating. I'm using notes. I apologize. I did not memorize this. But I am excited. And we are here in person to celebrate intergenerational friendships and support LBFE's work to prevent and relieve isolation and loneliness among the elderly. Now, let's get the evening started by hearing from LBFE's board president and my personal friend, Julia Wengrovitz.
Welcome everyone to this year's Friends on the Harbor celebration. It is so wonderful to be here back at the Hyatt and to see all of you. In the past year, there have been many times when all of us have felt more distant from others. But when I think about what LBFE and our community has done in the face of the pandemic, the word that comes to mind is togetherness. We are a small but mighty organization, and when we had to rethink the way that we provide companionship for Boston's older adults almost overnight, everyone stepped up in big ways. There was an all but impossible task ahead of us, starting up a virtual program for a group of individuals that had not previously been connected to the internet. But you, our community, stepped up. Our staff worked around the clock with our community partners to transition to ensure our intergenerational programs continued, even as our student volunteers were sent home around the world. Board members stepped up in numerous ways, filling in wherever we needed. We even had a board member, Kristen, who spent many nights setting up hundreds of tablets for our older adults so that we could take our CitySites programs online. Our volunteers rose to the occasion, made phone calls, delivered those tablets, sent letters and cards, really just checking in on our old friends to make sure that they had everything that they needed. And our donors really met the moment, increasing their support, allowing us to keep serving our older adults during a financially unstable time. When many organizations had struggled, LBFE rose to the occasion, and we've become a stronger, more agile organization because of it. And because of all of you and your support, we're poised for growth thanks to our new ability to offer virtual programming. Starting this fall, we're working hard to meet the need for more tech literacy among older adults in Boston with our new program, Digital Dividends, which aims to close the digital divide for low-income older adults. We're starting classes that will be instructed by our college-age volunteers, where our older adult participants will have access to a laptop and 6 months of internet access free of charge to be better connected to the world around them. We're so excited to celebrate everything that LBFE community has accomplished in the last year and to celebrate where we're going in 2022 and beyond to continue to ease the burden of loneliness among Boston's older adults. I hope you have a great evening and we enjoy the music from the Soft Touch Dance Band. They've been fantastic so far. And we've also got some fantastic raffle prizes, including a pair of very sweet crocheted friends that our executive director, Nikki, made in honor. Yes. And those were made in honor of two of our friends that we lost in the last year, and their story is over there next to the dolls if you want to look at them. So thank you everyone for being here. Really looking forward to a great evening, and I hope I get to speak to a lot of you over the course of the night. And now I'd like to invite Nikki back on stage.
It's now my pleasure to present LBFE's most prestigious honor, the Excellence in Service Award. The Exceptional Service Award is a special honor given to individuals that go above and beyond for Little Brothers Friends of the Elderly. The honor was first given in 2010, and it's not awarded every year. It's a recognition of incredible service to our mission to individuals that demonstrate a deep commitment to our core values, recognizing the inherent worth of the individual, service, compassion, cooperation, friendship, and creativity. In addition to recognition, the award comes with a special gift and the recipient's name engraved on a plaque that hangs in our office. This year, I'm proud to present the honor to Amy Cooper. Amy, yeah, we can clap for Amy. Amy's the resident service coordinator at Farnsworth House, one of our senior housing partners in Jamaica Plain. If you tuned in to last year's Friends on the Harbor, you'll remember the charming residents who starred in the episodes, and they're quite a memorable bunch over at Farnsworth House. When LBFE made the decision to bring our intergenerational CitySites program online, Amy was the first to offer help. She and I met in the parking lot, masked, and awkwardly exchanged our first batch of tablets for older adults to start Zooming. She distributed them to her residents and took the time to teach each individual how to log on, show them how to access Zoom, and helped us launch LBFE's virtual CitySites pilot. Amy shared our growing pains. She learned alongside us as we figured out how to connect older adults to the internet and how to create safe, meaningful spaces online. Her partnership through the pilot phase would later allow us to offer 12 virtual programs every week throughout the pandemic and bring companionship and comfort to hundreds of older adults who were left alone in their apartments with little connection to the world. Amy, I'm so thankful for your partnership and for helping LBFE launch into its pandemic program. Thank you.
This award means a lot to me, especially after the past year and a half, which have been difficult. I still remember our last in-person city site in March 2020 and how we all left not knowing what the future held. I am grateful that the collaboration between Farnsworth House and Little Brothers has endured and grown, and we have found new ways to benefit our elder friends. Collaborating with Little Brothers has been one of the highlights of my time at Farnsworth House and a privilege on a day-to-day basis. To me and my residents, Little Brothers, their staff and volunteers are an extension of our Farnsworth House community, or because we like alliteration, we refer to it as our Farnsworth family. Every time that we gather together, Farnsworth residents and Little Brothers staff, city site leaders, and volunteers, it feels like the holidays, like a glimpse of a better world, where caring is abundant, where we can leave our world of scarcity behind. It is, as Alanis would call it, a utopia.
Congratulations again, Amy.
Definitely. Congratulations, Amy. Oh, it's me. It's my turn. Well, I do want to say we see that our fine musicians, the Soft Touch Band, are back, ready in position and ready to ease us into a comfortable dinner. So I want you to enjoy that music. I encourage you to enjoy your dinner, mingle, and enjoy views of the harbor. Want to make an introduction for our next portion of the program with a very special panel discussion for you this evening, which has both older and younger CitySites participants. Now, we had originally planned to bring everyone in live, but for safety and mobility reasons, we had to opt for everyone getting together on a Zoom, and we have a video recording prepared for you. Now, this panel is a special opportunity for you all to meet the folks in our programs and see firsthand the benefit and joy of intergenerational friendships. And now LBFE acts and how, my penmanship is awful, and how LBFE acts as a lifeline for so many all year round. I would like, if there's somebody technically inclined, to cue the video.
What would I like people to know? I would like people to know that these intergenerational programs exist and that they exist remotely and that they're incredible.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie. For the fall, like Isaac, I'm excited to go back in person to a lot of our programs. We have about 15 sites happening for CitySites in the fall, and 10 of them are actually going to be in person, and 5 will be virtual. So I'm so excited to see some familiar faces and also get to meet some more new students, and some older participants will be able to join us. So looking forward to that.
My name is Valerie, and I live in at the Brighton campus of Two Life Communities. And I participated in the Zoom Plus virtual group for, I guess, two two semesters, and I thought I had pretty good technology skills when I started, but I ended up learning so much, and I really enjoyed the social aspects. And I'm looking forward to Zoom Plus starting up in October again.
Hi, my name is Renee Harmon, and I'm joined by little brothers and friends of the LB through the Peterborough Senior Center and with you guys.
So I would use a word intergenerational. So it's a group formed with different culture, different backgrounds. Like I'm an international student. I'm from China. My primary language is actually Chinese instead of English. But being here, working with the elders, working with other colleagues, I really enjoyed it.
To me, it was just a special community. Despite like obstacles with the pandemic, Little Brothers made sure that everyone still stayed connected during that. And it was a place where all participants were able to bring something to the table. So we were able to help with technology skills, but then older adults were also able to share stories and wisdom. And so every time I went to one of the meetings, it was very clear that everyone was there just because they wanted to make genuine connections.
You know, we're social animals. This is something that's a fundamental part of successful human life, is to have companionship, friendship. So to me, community has really become a lot more elastic, a lot more flexible. I realized that I can create a community.
You know, in person, like when we were going in person, it's something. And you saw all those people there. Once a week they were there and they were hanging on tight to you guys, so you know you need it.
So what's really been important for me is for younger people to see me as a whole person. But you've helped me find out a lot more about myself as an older person, and also believing that I can still strive to try to learn new things, and that I will have new experiences.
I talked with my telefriend every week, and she was able to share so many stories with me that I would have never had the opportunity to hear about, and I was able to similarly share experiences that were new to her.
I mean, I have friends that are older than me, and they're not that much older than me, but it's, oh, you're a baby. I said, you think I'm a baby? Yeah. You know? But then I have younger, you know, like 30 years younger than me, and 40 even, and I'm getting, you know, they're trying to take care of me because like I have appointments and they're younger than me, and they're making sure that they do things this way for me because they want to make sure I'm okay.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I just think it's really incredibly important to have friends that are not just like you. And the age differences are really important. And what's been most important for me is this has been a really, really difficult time for everyone. And when you get to be my age, loss is a part of life. But I found that I just am so incredibly more optimistic.
Different, like the technology is so fast with you younger ones that you know it, you teach it, and it's there. And then I'm seeing older ones learning it too, like myself, and older. Oh, you know how to do that? That's great.
I think for me, no matter what I encounter now, I have less fear. I no longer feel that I used to think that technology conspired to make me feel stupid every day, that I didn't know how to do this or I didn't know how to do that. And now I realize nobody really knows, that we're all learning together, and that when things go wrong, it's not because I'm a klutz or that I don't know what I'm doing. It could be any reason. And I've become a better problem solver.
The activities that we did were so enjoyable. Whether it was having deep conversations with show and tell and being able to talk about that stuff, but also the lighthearted environment of like the competitiveness that we had in, the different games that we played. Everyone really got into it. Everyone was able to joke around with each other.
This has been one of the most, I've had a lot of experiences in my life, a lot. And they've all been really pretty good. But this has really been a pretty terrific experience considering the time that we're living in.
I would like to share that I hope that this continues for a while, a long time, because I think that what we're learning with you is so rich. We're actually seeing to get to grow together. I mean, I'm learning more and I'm seeing new people per year. Adults, I'm teaching older adults. And it's a care, and it's a respect, and it's a thoughtfulness, and it's a kindness, and it's how we're supposed to be raised as one.
Thank you, and I'm sorry that we weren't able to have them with us in person tonight, but I'll pass your round of applause on to Valerie and Renee for sure.
It was great to see everyone's faces up there, and I don't know about you guys, but I 100% relate to Valerie. I'm Team Valerie because I'm like, my phone can do what? So it's great to see everybody up there on the screen, even if they couldn't be with us in person. I just want to reiterate that, the pandemic was a perfect example that LBFE is always there for people. They're even when it seems impossible. I mean, LBFE is innovative, it's creative, and in the midst of the pandemic, they found new ways to adapt to the new reality and continue what they do best, which is, making sure that older people know they're not alone and that they belong to a community that cares. Now, this innovation and creativity kept LBFE there for older adults throughout the pandemic. And you may have heard that LBFE has a lot of big plans for the coming year as we prepare to slowly and safely return to in-person visits and programming. Now, Nikki, what's in store for LBFE?
Well, we have ambitious plans for the coming year. We're bringing back our intergenerational CitySites back into the community rooms of senior housing buildings, as well as maintaining virtual options for folks who may not be ready or unable to come back in person. We've been talking about a lot this evening, but we're very excited that we're launching our digital dividends program in just 2 weeks. And that program is to address tech equity and access for older adults. And we're continuing our program evaluation work so we can continue to grow and improve and really meet the moment for older adults. But we need your help to do it.
And that's why we're here tonight. I encourage everyone here to give generously and support the expansion of our intergenerational programs and work to bridge the digital divide.
The past 2 years haven't been easy ones, but we've made through it because of the support of our loved ones. We've taken turns being strong for each other, and we've gotten better at asking for help when we need it. This was especially true at LBFE. You heard from both older and younger adults at CitySites this evening about how much of a lifeline our work was and continues to be. The beautiful thing about LBFE is how genuine, caring, strong friendships form around something as simple as a game or show and tell or storytelling. One group of folks who, those of you who tuned in to Friends on the Harbor 2020 know, is the group at Farnsworth House, the building that Amy Cooper manages. This group does a lot of collaborative storytelling, where one person says a sentence and the next person adds the next one. When the last semester ended, they were saying goodbye to the student volunteers, and they wrote a collaborative poem that I'd like to share with you today. It came together quite nicely for one person switching to the next. Our time here has been great. Though it's the end, it was our fate. We're thankful for the bonds we've made and know our LBFE memories will never fade. You've all shown me what it means to grow and taught us the things we needed to know. From friendships to lessons learned, as well as the trust of others that we've all earned. We've worked through this weather that's kept us far from Chile, but we've become an LBFE family. Not only was this a teaching experience, but a learning one too. But farewell it is, LBFE, we're saying goodbye to you. It's a kind of magic that happens when you bring older and younger people together. Whether it's on Zoom or around the same table, one generation has exactly what the other one needs. Whether it's advice based on years of lived experiences, or an introduction to a new app or a turn of phrase. Somewhere between B1 and 075, it's a bingo joke, real relationships take shape and impressions that last a lifetime are made. I'd like to end with sharing a story with you that brings our work to life. And maybe some of you have heard me talk about my dear friend Richard before, and I think of him every time I'm in this space, and I can't not mention him. I met Richard several years ago through our intergenerational CitySites program. We were starting a weekly program in his building with the Milestones Day program, a school for young adults on the autism spectrum. We asked Richard to be our resident liaison and help us get the program off the ground. This was a role that he accepted with pride. As I got to know Richard through CitySites, and he would come to our office to play games, I would play Scrabble with him once a month. He eventually started volunteering at LBFE to give back. He helped me stuff envelopes, and I'd bring him to lunch. A lifetime of fighting demons had left him estranged from his family, and he was happy to find people to be with and a purpose through LBFE. I once interviewed him for a testimonial for a grant application. During the interview, he told me some off-color stories to try to throw me off, but he also told me a great story about how our intergenerational CitySites program affected his life. He spoke about a young man, Henry, who on his first day was very quiet and disengaged. Over time, Richard encouraged him and spent time with him. Henry would eventually have the courage to call the bingo numbers and then open up and become friends with Richard. One week, the young man was especially excited to see Richard and share his news. He was accepted to junior college. In telling the story, now my eyes will well up. In telling the story, Richard's eyes welled up, and he had a hard time keeping it together and said to me, I really think I had something to do with that. And that was his revelation about LBFE. He had found his purpose in a life that he had long lost long ago. He told me he no longer felt he needed to go out and drink. He had something else. Soon after that, Richard became sick. Driving to his doctor's appointments, I asked him what was one thing he wanted to do with his time left. He started talking about our annual Thanksgiving party, which takes place right here at the Hyatt. And the Hyatt doesn't spare an expense, and they make a beautiful event for 200 older adults and volunteers. Richard said to me that the Thanksgiving party was the best day he had in a long time, and what he wanted to do was take me and our volunteer Linda for lunch at the Hyatt to give us the best day he can remember. So we did that. The three of us came to the Hyatt, and Richard was treated like a king. The staff welcomed him by name, saying, it's nice to see you again. The manager stopped by the table to check in. They lit a fire for us right over there, and while we had dessert looking over the harbor. And of course, the nice folks at the Hyatt paid for the meal. It was his only wish before the end, and you all made it happen. And that's what I love about this organization. There's a magic that brings out the best in people. It builds community. It gives purpose to everyone, older adults, students, volunteers, donors, staff, board members. And when I think of the future with LBFE, that's what I see, community. I'm humbled to be part of this organization's long history. I'm honored to be serving this mission with all of you beside me. It's been a joy, and I look forward to many more years of service to the elderly. And as we continue to enjoy this evening, I'll be thinking of Richard in the wonderful afternoon we had just a few years ago in this same place, just a couple of friends on the harbor.